Why did you rage quit your job? I used to work at a nursing home, mostly handling paperwork at the front desk, but I got to know a lot of the residents. There was this older woman, Mrs. Dawson, who had been there for years. Sweetest lady ever. Her husband had passed a decade ago, and her kids never visited. I became the closest thing she had to family. One morning, I came in and saw her looking worse than usual, tired, weak, barely speaking. I asked my supervisor if we should call a doctor. She just shrugged. She's old. It happens. By lunchtime, Mrs. Dawson could barely lift her head. I begged my boss to call for help. She rolled her eyes. She's not priority right now. If she goes, she goes. When I finally managed to get a nurse to look at her, the glance that the nurse spared might as well have been accidental. Needless to say, no help was administered and Mrs. Dawson was left to all but fend for herself. I felt sick. I called her son myself, left a voicemail, then sat with her, holding her hand. She kept whispering, "I don't want to be alone." By the end of my shift, she was gone. The next morning, my boss laughed and said, "Well, that frees up a room." Something in me broke. I didn't even respond. I just walked to my desk, left my badge on the counter, and walked straight out the door. Never even picked up my last paycheck.